Now, if you didn't know what an Arduino is, I'm going to be telling you today. An Arduino, well, I've got one right here. This specific model is an Arduino Uno, and it's powered by an Mega chip here. I can tell you specifically, an Atmega 32 8P PU, and it's used for programming and building circuits. So a project, say, where you're trying to detect when it's raining, and when it does rain, a buzzer goes off. So you would have a rain sensor module, and then you would have a buzzer, and then you could code it to detect when rain was on the rain detector, then it turned the buzzer on. Now, that's a simple one. Lots of people have made very complicated circuits using an Arduino, and I might talk about some of them in a future video, but today it's explaining what this is. So one of the things about an Arduino that's very unique and special is that all of its hardware and software is open source. So there are so many companies that have gone ahead and downloaded files of the Arduino. This, just to tell you, is the original. You can see it says Arduino Uno, and that's the original model. Whereas there are companies such as Elegoo who make their own Elegoo Arduino Uno and Arduino Nano, Mega, Pro Mini, and there are loads of different Arduinos, but today it's Arduino Uno. And the big thing about it being open source is that most things you find aren't open source. So what that means is you can find files for everything. So you can find a link to where an Mega chip is, or where the other sorry about that, my dad, he's doing stuff, don't know what he's trying to do. What was I saying? Oh, and so the pins they use, the USB ports they use, the jacks they use, the capacitors, the crystals, the LEDs, everything. They link that, and even the PCB design. There's on, in fact, just before I move on, open source electronics platform. Now that right there is what Arduino is. So that's what the official board has written on the back of it. Designed and assembled in Italy, so the whole company was based in Italy, and that's where it all started out. And then it grew big, and then it was open source. So then other companies bought it up, and now Arduino is a very popular thing. But when someone thinks of an Arduino, this isn't normally it. They're thinking of the clones. Now, clones are basically identical. Like they can even have the same PCB manufacturer. They can have the same, not allowed to have the same writing on actually. They're not allowed to have the Arduino logo, because that's copyright. But apart from that, they will almost be identical. And then there are other companies that have taken the idea of Arduino and they've modified it, such as put more pins on, because there are official Arduino boards, such as the Arduino Mega, that do have more pins, but companies have gone ahead and got the Arduino Uno and basically just doubled. So they've gone ahead and got this row of pins and moved it along and linked all that to the Mega chip. So they took the same board and modified it rather than just using another one of Arduino's projects. Sorry. Now, just to round off this video, I'm going to tell you about something I'm doing with Arduino, something personally I'm setting a challenge for myself about, and that's a project to help our 3D printer cool down when it's getting too hot in there. I'll just quickly show you. Sorry, the lighting's not great. Can actually So inside here we've got the 3D printer and we're going to have a system that has a temperature sensor, has a little display there that's going to say what the temperature is, and then it's going to have a buzzer that if it gets too hot it'll turn on, and then it's also going to have fans to try and cool it down. So I just wanted to tell you about that specific project I'm working on. So I'm ending the video there.